Welcome back to the InfoWars Nightly News. Owen Schroyer with you, and I am joined by science fiction authors T.S. Pettibone. They're actually identical twins. And you guys have recently decided to put your careers writing books on hold in order to campaign, essentially on social media, for Donald Trump. Tell me about that decision.
Well, essentially, we've been watching this election extremely closely from the very beginning, and we've been on the Trump train since the very beginning as well. And we've just been watching it escalate and get worse and worse and worse. And we've been wanting to speak out for a while, and just eventually we kind of snapped and just said, you know, it doesn't matter anymore. It doesn't matter if it costs us our career or whatever. We just wanted to stand up and speak what we believe, you know, because we've been in a very liberal industry for a while without being able to speak what we believe. So we just kind of went for it and didn't look back, haven't yet, and we're very happy with what we've done.
Now, is this more because you like Donald Trump that much, or because you think that this election is so pivotal and important?
Well, it's actually both, but we do think that this election is very important. Hillary Clinton is a globalist, and Donald Trump's a nationalist. We think that this election will decide a lot. So we think it will be devastating if Hillary Clinton wins. We're already seeing our freedoms, you know, be taken away right, left, and center. And so, like, it basically came down to books don't matter, writing won't matter, nothing will matter if our country continues on the course that, you know, it's been going on. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's actually a good point, and I think a lot of people don't understand that, and we go about our daily routines and everything, and we just take for granted how fragile our lives might actually be. So that's an interesting point. Now, do you guys feel, you talked about how there's liberal bias in your industry. I see that in our industry all the time. I'm sure you do as well. But enlighten our audience, what is kind of the bias that you've seen in your industry of being an author?
Well, for example, I mean, many of the agents have wish lists of things they'd like to see in books. And so if you're writing according to the narrative, then you are much more likely to be published. So, you know, do you want to add?
Yes. So she means writing according to the politically correct narrative. Yeah. So if you have very conservative ideals, your book probably won't get published. At least we're talking about the young adult industry, because that's really all that we've had experience in. So like she said, they sort of have a preset a list of things that they want included in books. And we've been to many conferences. We've seen all these agents and publishers on these panels sort of speaking about this, how we want this to be published this year, or this to be published, you know, next month. And so it's very difficult to compete in that industry when they don't really want anything but the politically correct narrative. So that was pretty disappointing for us.
So did you actually experience that, trying to get your book published, Hatred Day Volume 1, which is kind of a depiction of how you see the New World Order being unleashed on humanity and what that future looks like? Did you experience any of that firsthand?
Okay, so actually what happened was, for many years our writing, we didn't realize that we were automatically kind of censoring ourselves. Because we've been in this industry so long, we didn't quite make the connection till about a year ago, where we weren't completely censored, but a lot of things we were like, oh, we probably shouldn't bring that up because it's a sensitive subject. So throughout all these years of writing, we were just censoring ourselves, and it got to a point where we were saying, we want to write what we believe, and we don't want to conform to their ideals and principles just to get published. So the way that we call it the New Global Union, the way it's depicted in Hatred Day, is fairly kind of how we imagine the new world order to be, and it will progress as the series goes on. But for now, it's kind of subtle. It's very tame in book 1. But now that we've just decided to, you know, write what we believe and be very blunt about it, as the series goes on, our what we see will be very blatant. So that's really good decision.
Well, now that we've self-published.
Yeah.
Do you guys feel like you're risking your career as authors being so public for your endorsements of Trump?
Oh, sure. I mean, since we came out for Trump, it's been a little over a week. Yeah. We've been unfollowed by many of the, you know, the bloggers on YouTube and industry contacts that we've made over the years. And so we can just see the intolerance, you know, of our beliefs already. And I mean, you know, it's okay, but we think it's worth it. We want to stand up for what we believe in. It's no life to live being censored, you know.
tspettibone.com. Their book is Hatred Day Volume 1. I imagine you're planning on writing more of these books, but right now you've put that on hold to endorse Donald Trump. And it seems to me, based on the videos you've done, it's even motivated by how sick and disgusting Hillary Clinton is and the fact that she could even be a presidential candidate. That shocked you so much you feel like you had to report on it.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. I mean, it's incredible how biased the mainstream media is. Absolutely incredible. The things that she has done in relation to Donald Trump, there is just no contest. But no one reports on it. And you can just see the bias clear as day, especially if you read any alternative medias. So yes, we've seen it, and we're trying to point out things that we've noticed that, maybe we haven't seen, reported on somewhere else, or just in our own words. And hopefully, since we're, a bit younger, we'll appeal to a younger audience. And that's our goal, just to get as many people to wake up before Election Day, because it's coming fast.
And you guys also, being women, you're told that you shouldn't support Trump, that he hates women. What is a message you would have for other young women out there who believe that Donald Trump hates women and they shouldn't vote for him?
Well, so obviously the Trump tape that came out, we don't approve, obviously, of what he said. It was wrong. But I think, like we said, it's a disproportionate reaction, what we've seen in the mainstream media. So as a woman, we would say Hillary Clinton is not for women. I think that one comment Trump has made has been taken and put out there to say that Trump hates women, when Hillary Clinton has an entire track record of intimidating and just completely... I'm sorry, I'm trying to get my words right, but just we see her intimidating Bill Clinton's alleged rape victims. We see her flip-flopping on tons of issues where she's trying to appease people nowadays when she didn't agree with gay marriage before. We see a lot of this. And from Hillary Clinton, the one thing that we can take away is that she'll say anything to get elected, and that she doesn't care about women, she doesn't care about men, she only cares about herself.
Yes. So. To add to that, actually, it's kind of what we pointed out in the video where we came out for Trump, is Hillary is all words. Yeah. And if you look at her actions, they're complete, in conflict with her words. So a lot of what she's saying is lying, but it seems like people are only responding to what she's saying. They're not looking at what she's done. And in the Podesta emails that have leaked, you can see, all the things that she said or people have said that she said. Yeah. And the things she's done, and they're very, very, very terrifying.
In your last video, you talked about the mainstream news and Hillary Clinton wanted to keep you ignorant. Are you buying any of the polls that say Hillary Clinton is in lead coming out of the mainstream news?
No way. No way. Frankly, we don't trust anything the mainstream media says. I mean, it's all biased. It's not objective anymore. And that's why we've resorted to reading alternative media, and for many years now, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, you were actually telling me that. We were talking about off air how you've been kind of awake to the alternative media for a while now, but you've decided to enter it yourself, if you will. And having said that, to close out this interview, you've done a couple videos. You've started to go into the political nature. You've gotten some new fans. Are you having fun? Maybe there's some political narrative future for you here in the future?
We'll see. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
Yeah, we have a lot of ideas for videos, so this could go on for a while.
Yeah, we're just kind of putting the ones that we think are more important. We're working on them right now, and then eventually, because we have a master list already of videos that we'd like to do.
So you guys might be at this for longer past just the election then?
Oh, sure. Yeah. Now that we're out, and we're going to just say everything we want to say and make our points.
One thing I'd like to note is that we've been in the writing industry for how many years? It's been about 10 years. And the writing industry, we have not seen nearly as much of a welcoming reaction in the writing industry, which we're in for 10 years, as just 1 week being in the alternative media, so to speak. They've been so welcoming, the community, so kind, and it's just been a really great experience. So 1 week compared to 10 years, it's been amazing. Yeah.
Science fiction and fantasy authors T.S. Pettibone. Follow them on Twitter at Brit Pettibone, tspettibone.com for all their work. Thank you so much, ladies, for joining us and for sticking up for Donald Trump.
Very proud to announce the introduction of the highest quality InfoWars Biome Defense probiotic. We wanted to come out with the largest spectrum of high quality known probiotics